Hello, this
We are
is
recording.
Good morning, and I just wanted to make sure that Colin covers a couple of the housekeeping. Again, this is Hazel. I am a maid. So, Colin, will you turn over the housekeeping? Thank you, Hazel, so much. Absolutely awesome. We do have some housekeeping issues this morning to discuss. So, John, I want to invite you to help me recall, if we can, a couple things. We're so excited we are enrolling people, but there's some things that we need to make sure that you know so your enrollments go smoothly. So when you're on the site, John, you want to tell them how the site address works? There's a little tiny, what you call tick in there. You want to tell them these site addresses so that they're kind of clear on that?
Yeah, just make sure that you don't forget the little U. So it's going to be TelaCare.info, and you have to stress with people, just like I'm doing with you, that there's an A in Tela, because it just is, for me, natural to, telephone is two E's, E-L-E, but here it's Tela, so E-L-A. TelaCare.info/U, as in Utah, / your username. So it's important that you point out those two little tripwires, that it's Tela with an A, and then there's that /U before / your username.
And that
if
is
you
the
cover
letter
that,
U.
Yeah, the letter U. So it's TelaCare.info/U, the letter U, / your username, whatever that is, like mine's John. So TelaCare.info/U / John, and that's it. Obviously, most of you have that, but it's important that you explain it to all the people that you're sending to the site so they can get that. And what I really recommend everybody do is you have two options. You can go buy a domain, and that's one way to totally handle this. When you buy a domain, then you can redirect people. Or if you want to just immediately solve your problem, you can go to bit.ly, bit.ly, or you can go to bit.ly.com, whatever works for you, B-I-T, B as in Bravo, I-T as in Tom, ly.com, and then you can get a free redirect. So it will be like mine is bit.ly.com/TelaCare. And that is in a quick and easy way, and it's free to have a redirect. So you can just have bit.ly.com/new health or something like that, and then you can hand that out to everybody, and they don't have to navigate all the other little fun things.
Fantastic. You did a great job in covering that, and that's something that we say too, is the redirect makes it really nice, very unique. Okay, so moving on, when you are on the site, make sure that you see your name or the username of the person that you're signing up, to, and then underneath there is a little green link button. And John, what exactly does that link say?
What was the link that you were talking about? I missed it. Sorry.
When you're about to do an enrollment, the exact words that the link says. Register.
I am. Oh yeah. So at the so you want me to tell them at the top right? Yeah, it says register new user. So if you're looking, and it says
there.
Order now right above that.
Right. So we're going to go register new user, and when you click the register new user, you're going to go ahead and fill everything out. As you fill everything out, you want to double check that the person who gave you their site name is in the application. Then there's a little button just above putting the credit card in that says
Submit, and it's red.
So you're going to hit the Submit button first for the application of the person you're enrolling. Once the Submit button is done and all the information is correct there, then what you're going to do is put in the credit card information. And then one more time, the button underneath the credit card will say
Subscribe.
And then it should populate it'll say your payment is successful. And I had one last night. When it doesn't populate properly, it will say there's an error. So you'll see those two things happen. You'll look for that nice green, pretty mint green that says your payment was received successfully. Now that site should be populated, and if that person already has somebody to enroll, you'd want to make sure that you do two things so that you are really good. Go to the site of the new person. It should have populated within a few seconds there. And then what you want is you want to make sure when you scroll down that you've cleared your cookies and the site name you were using before is not in there. This way, this will help us not to create any additional issues or problems where somebody might be signed up. It looks like you're on that person's site, but again, last night my link kept coming up, so we were able to take it to John's computer and finish doing the right enrollments properly to each person. Now, John, did I cover pretty much most of the stuff that we wanted to cover? There are a few glitches, by the way, on the on the birthday.
Let me stress that you've got the ultimate get out of jail free card. All you got to do is call up Carlin or me, and then we can help you navigate because each of us we've already done it several times, so it's not a problem.
Okay. And you know what? We do say when in doubt, check it out. So we don't mind. I don't care how many times I get a call or how many times I have to explain something. It's better to check it out than have to go back and refix something because you think this is how it should have been done. So it really is. We did do it. That's why we did our experience last night, and we really do want to help. I think it was Harold that brought up when he went to the site.
Date, yeah.
The birth date, absolutely. And one of the tricks on the birth date, I couldn't figure out why the months were not showing up. When playing with it, I realized if you hit the year first, then the month will drop down and you'll get all 12 months. Then if you hit the month, hit the day, you need to go back and double-check the year or you'll end up at 2015. So you just want to double-check. That's a little tiny glitch. I'm sure they'll fix those things soon. These are things that we've just discovered, and we're hoping that you don't find them as stumbling blocks and don't know about them. John, is there anything else last night that we discovered?
Yeah. Well, let me just add for everyone on the call that you have two things you can do here to interact. I'm going to turn my screen on just so it actually would have been helpful if everyone was looking at my screen while we went through that. So I apologize. Well, after we get done here, we can go over this again for anybody that wants to stick around and see it on the screen. You're more than welcome to log on. Just go to bit.ly.com/JohnGlobal, and then you can log right into the webcast if you want to do that. But I want to, the other thing is if you have questions and you don't want to speak up, if you just want to type them into the chat box on our webcast, you can do that too. We always have that functionality. And then you can also unmute yourself. We just had a couple people join us just now. If you want, you're muted automatically, but if you want to unmute yourself, you just hit *6, and you can interrupt us and ask a question, or you can text me, or you can hit the chat box after you log into the webcast. In the right-hand control panel, right below, you'll see a bunch of info in the menu at the top, and then they'll say chat. And you can just type a message in here, and I'll throw a little message in there right now, and then everybody can hopefully see that. So, okay, and then Carlin, if you don't have anything else, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Dawn.
Okay, and I know that some people don't have their computers, so don't worry about it. We'll work with you afterwards. You're on your phones and you're driving, and we know.
Right.
With that, I'm really excited for the next part of our call and ready to get started. Remember that when you have background noise, *6 will unmute you, and *6 puts you back on mute. So thank you for that. You guys are doing awesome. And John, take it away.
All right, great. Thank you. Hold on one second. I just realized I didn't unmute Dawn. Hold on one second. And I will get that remedied. Dawn, can you hear me?
Yes, John, I'm here.
Okay, sorry about that. I thought I unmuted you, but then I realized that you were still muted. My apologies. You probably could have chimed in and told all that stuff better than I just did because it's your baby. So if
you did a great job.
Thank you. You are always so kind. Well, if I can introduce you now to everybody on a call, we've actually got a nice crowd on here, more people than I thought we would have. And I'm going to let everyone know what an amazing story you have and how blessed we are that you are leading our charge here. Dawn, Freda, and I met, I think it was a little over a year ago, towards the beginning of 2014, and this is the one more beautiful thing about network marketing is that Dawn was brought in by someone who I brought in. So we didn't know each other, but as soon as I got on the phone with Don, I found out his background. I said, okay, this is someone I definitely want to know for the rest of my life. Don built a powerhouse of a direct sales organization all the way back in the 70s when he started up Freda Enterprises, which he then later renamed Vector Marketing. And if you have been hanging around direct sales at all, then you know Vector is basically Cutco. Vector did almost all the revenue for Cutco for, 20 years, I think. And Don's Vector organization went from startup to almost 1 million reps working out of over 400 offices in North America. And they did over $1 billion in revenue, and that was billion with a B. That means, a lot more than 10 million a month or 100 million a year. We're talking about 1,000 million a year. I'm sorry, 1,000 million total in revenue. And that organization today still does. Right on their website, they say they do 200 million a year in revenue. So he built an absolute dynamo of an organization. And I love the stat that you gave on the training video that you did. Since it's public, I can go ahead and quote the number. It's really just incredible, hard to believe. But in Don's last year with Vector, before he moved on from Vector, they enrolled 78,000 reps that last year, 78,000. And each one of those 78,000 bought a $150 sampler of the knives that they sold with Cutco. And if you don't have your calculator out, 78,000 times 150 is 11.7 million. And I'm guessing that, Don, you got at least a little percentage of that money in your pocket. So Don Freda from the South Jersey suburbs of Philadelphia. And I'm going to let you tell the story of how you came up with this amazing idea to be able to help millions of people here with their health care.
Well, thank you, John, and good morning or good afternoon, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be with you. I really want to acknowledge John and Carlin and let everyone know how lucky we feel, and I can only imagine you feel the same way, to be associated with them. They are both true professionals with varied talents that when you piece them together really makes for an extremely powerful team, and we're delighted to have them both as major players in our company, and both in a position of influence where they can pick up the phone and call me anytime they want to, and most of the time they'll get me. So I thank you both for your leadership, and certainly the story of TelaCare goes back decades in a sense. It does go back to my fascination with networking. We were a traditional direct sales company. Vector was. It was not a networking or multi-level company. It was the kind of company that you came into, you had to move up in the ranks and eventually get promoted to a district manager who had your own office. So it was a little bit more traditional in that regard. It was still people selling to people, and it was harder to grow it because we had to open offices, and there were investments that had to be made, and a skill set that needed to be developed in a manager, and so that had to follow a certain prescribed path. But I remember very clearly having dinner. I was on the board of directors of the DSA, and I had dinner with Mark Hughes, the founder of Herbalife. And any of you that knew him or knew of him, Mark was a flamboyant, charismatic guy, movie star, good looks, and his wife was a former Miss Sweden, and they were. We were at the time, we were about a $50 million company, and Herbalife had kind of burst onto the scene and did something in the range of 30 or 35 million in their second year. And I was fascinated because it took us 7 years to get to there. and then that fascination slowly evolved into frustration because they just blew past us to $500 million a year within a couple of years, and I was convinced that the model, the networking model, which did not rely on offices, which allowed each and every person to move up at the pace that fit their personality and their time commitment. And I really came to appreciate the model as the ultimate. It really and truly is the ultimate American structure. I believe network marketing could have never been invented in any other country other than here. And the idea that an individual person, in our case, with a $14.95 investment in their business, obviously most all of our affiliates are also members and subscribe to the service, but in a sense that's a different decision. So with a $15 investment can build $100,000, $200,000 income, and so I began to really study the industry. I signed up for dozens of, really basically anytime anyone called me, I signed up. I was always honest with them and told them, I don't know how much I'll really be able to do, but I always wanted to get further, more experience with it and just see how people went about it. And I really began to feel that there were certain fundamental things that had evolved in the industry, perspectives and approaches that I felt really detracted from the core idea. To me, the core idea is that a brand new person, really, that's never done anything like this before, and I understand that virtually all the people on the phone here are highly experienced networkers, but we all have seen a neophyte, a new person to the industry that can come in and succeed, and that's the whole idea behind it. And so I really wanted to create a company that truly stood for that. And that's why when we designed our compensation plan, we didn't build in all of the, I guess what I'll call commission-ectomy, ways to shunt off commission income. And for us, the notion, and I know that it's contrary for most of you, but the notion that a person could come in, could introduce us to someone without whom we would have never gotten to that someone. So that one person who's introduced us to that someone, that person, in my opinion, deserves an income stream for that introduction. And I believe that when it really sets in with people, that, if I can bring in a couple of people and introduce them to this wonderful thing, that you'll start to see a different attitude. And what I really don't want is a successful company that has in its wake the lives of thousands of people that have been adversely affected, that have, I still have, my dear friend that I've known for a long time, his name is Bill Strine, we signed up in Melaleuca with him. We still have boxes of Melaleuca product in our garage. And every time you see one of those boxes, it just pings a little negative ping. So I had been searching for the right product, and John and I were both part of North American Power. I don't know if any of you on the phone were part of that. Again, just an example of how wonderful the business can be, and simultaneously how hurtful it can be. And you had people that had gone into it, had really been devoted to it, and just had the pins knocked out from under them. But as part of that, on the periphery of it, and I never enrolled anybody except my son Joey, who wanted to save a couple bucks on his electric bill, they introduced this product that they called Smart Health. Was it, John, or what was it called?
Simple Health.
Simple
Close
Health.
enough, though.
Thank you. You would think it would be simple. I'd be able to remember it because it's simple. At any rate, And I just went, bam. I mean, when I saw that, I said, that is it right there. And I was actually preparing to roll up my sleeves and really get to work. And all of a sudden, North American Power was gone. And so we initiated instantaneously a search for, first of all, the right platform. And this was an exhaustive search. Both of my sons, Don and Joe, are involved in the business with me. And, they're highly accomplished individuals in their own right. And we finally came to MD Live as, without question, the premier platform in the industry. It is state of the art. It is best of class. And as you get to interact with it, you will see that to be the case. So we have the very, very best product. We have really, for the first time that I know of in network marketing, a service product that still has high margins. And as you all know, you've seen our comp plan. I mean, we're going to pay out 68% of the revenue every month to the field. So the whole idea here, what we were trying to do is create an opportunity. There's a number one objective. It was not for us to make another $1 million. The idea is to create an opportunity because in my life, in my career, certainly the most satisfying and fulfilling experiences that I ever had were watching a person come. And, of course, one of the neat things about Vector is that we worked with really young people, young adults, college people. So they were brand new, wet behind the ears, and to watch them go. And we had many guys and gals in their mid-20s that were really making $250,000, $300,000, $400,000 with the occasional wind gusts up to $500,000. And
wow.
it was so satisfying. And the mutual respect that we had for one another, their appreciation for the creation of the opportunity, my appreciation for their dedication and hard work, because no question about it, the ones that were succeeding at that level were working their tails off. But the results were there, the benefits were there, and it was a magical thing. Like if you think back in your life to moments where, I still think when I first met my wonderful wife Teresa and falling in love, and what a marvelous, I can just remember she was all I could think about. It was just so wonderful, and it still is the case, in fact, that she's not all I can think about, but because I have to think about the business too. But when you have those feelings, it's almost a dreamlike state where everything is just positive, and that's what we have tried to create. Obviously we had to, mostly because of the unbridled enthusiasm and impatience of one John Cini, who I was just explaining to someone the other day. I think it was you, Carlin. I don't remember, but that I reached out to John because John was the one other person that I saw in North American Power. He was kind of a little bit comatose in that business prior to the introduction of Simple Health, and man, it lit him up. And all of a sudden, 2 emails a day from John, creating websites. I mean, he saw the potential in the product. And I really do credit John as being very influential, catalytic, if you will, in my thinking about the product. And so I, of course, immediately wanted to reach out to him. And I think I was premature in that. I thought I would have to, you know how you do it. You plant a seed with someone. You guys all remember, Zig's story, the cats on the roof thing, except on a positive note. And so I thought I would plan to see with John, and he'd mull it over for a week or two, and then we'd talk again, and that I would slowly ease him along. The day after I called him, he had already created a website. He was already building PowerPoints. He was already had talked to dozens of people. I mean, he was talking to anybody and everybody that would listen. And how delightful it is to see. This is a guy with 25 years of experience in the industry. This is not a neophyte. This is a guy that really has been around the block. And to see his unbridled enthusiasm and excitement, and I know you've all felt the heat of that shining circumstance there. So that really did force us to move a little faster than we had originally planned, and I apologize to all of you. I know there are some glitches there. I do know that no matter how much time you take pulling back on the bow with the arrow, there's always still going to be some glitches, and we think we've got most of them worked through. We're cognizant of all of them. Our developers are working on them, and you're going to see steady progress over the course of the next couple of weeks. But obviously, the trade-off to be on this, by the way, this today, what is it, June 4th? This is the very first conference call we've had in the history of the company, right here, right now. So you're going to be able to say, those of you who want to say, I was on the very first call, and so obviously the trade-off. I mean, that's a wonderful thing, and you all know what that does for your positioning in the company, and you'll be brought up 5 years from now in front of 10,000 people. And be able to say, yeah, I was on the first call, and John muted the president of the company. He couldn't even talk for a minute, and so you'll be able to say that. The disadvantage is that you got to work through a few of these little issues here, and we deeply appreciate your patience. We're conscious of them, but please do not hesitate to bring them to our attention. My email, if you don't have it, is df, Don Freda, df@strivecorp.com. Do not hesitate to reach out to me at any time, and including, anything that I can do to help you in your business, 3 ways or anything like that. I'm a tool for you to use. I'm a resource for you to use. I am a CEO that gets involved, rolls up my sleeves. I love the business. I'm not a an outside banker or accountant or attorney that's kind of using direct sales. I'm a direct sales guy. I started selling Cutco knives when I was 19 years old, 2 weeks after Teresa and I got married, and it's really been in my blood ever since. So I love talking with people face to face. I love that interaction, and to me, in this world where so much else is becoming impersonal, and so much is done, clicking and surfing and all those things, and they're all wonderful things, and they are tools to help us in our business. But to me, it's still about people, relating to, working with people. It's about team, and that's when really marvelous things happen. So.
And Don, if I can jump in, I just wanted to, I forgot to say this at the beginning, that one of the things that really caught my attention about you, which is obvious from your track record, but is that you genuinely care about people and you put people's success first. And that dedication to your rep force is mandatory for you to do the things that you did in the past. And it's something that everybody recognizes in you and loves about you, and I think that's something that needs to be communicated. Because when you put people into a business, a lot of times the lip service is that, okay, yeah, we care about people and we want everybody to make a lot of money, but that doesn't necessarily get implemented. And here, with that. I've seen that every step of the way, that you're looking out for the rep force first and foremost. And that's so amazing that we have a product that will actually save people money, save people time, enhance their quality of life, and you are putting the reps first to make sure that they make money, which is just mind-boggling to me. So I wanted to really stress that and thank you for that dedication that you have to the rep force.
And then I want to come right behind you and say this. And because of that reputation and because of Don being who he is, that is why we were very careful about selecting the people we chose to get on this call today, and that we chose our core group very crucially, because we want to help set the community, the tone, and the atmosphere for creating exactly what his heart has demonstrated here today. As you get to know him, you'll see that even more. And then we as the core group who get to lead the charge in the company and bring his community and bring our community and bring his mission to life, we become that heartbeat for him. And then just as we do that to help build the company, we also, as a core group, work very hard to continue to keep that community and continue to keep that running so it becomes our track record, and that we also work to protect the company. So we are also protecting that center core heartbeat as well. And it becomes crucial that the core here does have the patience and does help the field and become that extended arm, because, just like there's a shepherd for every sheep in a church, Don is eventually not going to be able to reach out to every single person as he was able graciously today to start. That's going to one day, it's going to be harder and harder. He is only one person, but we want to become an extension of him, and we want to show him that by learning who he is, understanding the way he wants to conduct the business and the culture of the company, we get to help set that pace. And I think that's so crucially important to know how beneficial you are to this call and how important you are to the beginning of everything. And it's a great place to be. And I love Don's illustration of the penny doubling every day. I love when I kept saying you were watching, and he illustrated that penny doubling. If you haven't seen it, John, let's make sure they have the link to watch that, because to be able to watch Don do this PowerPoint and just sit back and gently watch and listen will really give you the effect of how we're going to work a little bit harder for a little less at the beginning and have a little bit of those things that happen, the hiccups, but watch the reward that comes when you get into the middle of the month and the third week in the month. And I said, wow, every week for us is like a month, and every month will be like maybe a year. But it's so funny as I watched this, I said, this is fantastic, because this is so true to life. When you just put in the hard work that it takes and you put in the due diligence and you never quit and you just stick around, what Don shared today is going to become a true reality. And a lot of people have taken their dreams from companies, and we've been hurt by past companies, and we want to judge all horses coming out of a horse stable as the same if you got thrown off. Trust me, you are in a new horse stable. You've got a horse of a different color, a horse of a different mindset. You will reap and see the rewards of what he talked from his heart today. You will experience it. And so for that, I hope you're just as excited to be here as I am. And with that, we also have, we had promised that if you have questions, this is a great time for us to get our questions answered. And so I know I'd love to start. I have a couple of quick questions regarding the matrix and a couple of things that was brought up last night. Clay, to answer the question you had, I know you're on mute. Clay had asked, if a customer comes on board, Don, and they just want the service, are we placing those people, are they being placed in the matrix, and there's still 7 generations of pay, 7 levels going straight up of pay on a customer, even if the customer doesn't pay for the $15 service to be a rep, and they don't receive a paycheck? Does the matrix compress? What happens exactly? How do we need to view our customers? Are they on the outside of the matrix? How does that work?
Great question, by the way.
They are within the matrix. They do pay 7 levels up above them. There's obviously no compression involved because there's no activity below them. Now, what we do think we will experience is people who become a customer and just over coffee talk with their neighbor who says, geez, you know what, man, I would love to get such a service as that. And all of a sudden they'll be scrambling to upgrade for the $14.95 to get their website activated. But yes, they're all commissionable sales. They go on your first level, and the assumption is if they're just customers, nothing will happen below them. But everyone above will be paid on those just as the same as if it was an affiliate that just never recruited anyone. It's the same compensation.
Okay. And if a person comes in, can they? There was a couple things, because we noticed that when you put the site, the name in for the people first and hit submit, there was a populated site that occurred. So the question is, can somebody come in for just the $15 and begin working the program if they didn't need this service? That's just a question that was proposed.
Yes. Technically they can do that, but they will still need to get one customer in order to open up the comp plan. So,
Got it.
So
right.
If they're that customer, then that's fine. And if they just come in at $14.95, which obviously we want to discourage that because we don't want people to just But if they do, then they just have to get one customer to agree to enroll, and then that will open up the comp plan for them subsequently.
So would this be accurate to say that by you signing up, you actually get credit for you being your own customer, and that is what activates your entire pay center technically? Is that what we're saying?
That is correct.
Okay, nice. Okay, and then the other question also is, if somebody is just a customer, there is a way they can come back in and do an upgrade to get into the system and start becoming paid as a representative, correct?
Yes, it's the exact same process, except that they'll just, add the $14.95, and they can do that whenever they want. So it doesn't necessarily have to be right there in the very beginning. Right now, at this moment, it does, because the only options are be a customer or be an affiliate and be a customer. But the affiliate option will be added at some point in the not-too-distant future.
Nice. And I heard you say, technically, if I were to share it with John, I come into the program and share it with John, and John signs up, you actually use the word referral. So if we were to tell everybody to go ahead and encourage them to sign up for the $15, the nice thing would be to say is, this way you are assured to have any kind of referral income for your effort. Would that be accurate? Is that approved by you?
It's not assured, Carlin. They would still need to pay the $14.95 to get the income. The people would still go under them. Technically, they'd be under them, but unless you're an affiliate, you're not qualified for the comp plan.
Correct, but if they're qualified, would a good term be able to say, by being qualified with your $15 as a representative and being an affiliate, that you would open yourself up for what we could refer it to as referral income?
Correct. That is correct.
Okay, that's the wording I was just wanting to check.
And that can be at any time. That can be at any time.
Okay.
And that's $1.25 a month, which is chicken feed.
Right.
Do we have any other questions that anybody has? You want to come out, hit *6, introduce yourself, state your name, and ask Dawn a question?
And while you guys are figuring out if you want to ask something, I'm going to ask something. If you would, Dawn, just touch on your thought process, since we've got everybody here that is fairly network savvy and I'm sure appreciates everything that you said about the industry. If you can talk a little bit about the telemedicine industry and what you saw out there and why you chose MD Live when you had obviously several choices out there, I think that would be helpful.
The primary advantage of MD Live, and as you know, John, there's a couple of them that claim to be the biggest, and I don't know that anybody actually knows who is the biggest, but the MD Live's interface, their online interface, their online platform, I mean, the ability to go in and see what doctors are available right now, or to be able to make an appointment with the doctor. For instance, in most of the other ones, if you go on and you have a really positive experience, and, doctors are people too, and some of them we connect with and some of them not so much. If you have a really good experience, in most of the other platforms, you can never circle back to that particular doctor again. It's random how you connect. With MD Live, you can literally go in, search out the doctor, find their profile, and you can set an appointment with that doctor for later that day, or if they happen to be on at that moment, then you can request a consultation at that moment. Nobody else can do that. So in the ability to see the backgrounds of the doctors, the ability to select and schedule is just by far and away the best. And their response time, too. I want to say I remember 9 minutes as the average response time, and most of the others are, an hour or more. So they have a very, very large team. It's highly experienced. I'm talking about the team of doctors, a high degree of experience, and it's just a really, really outstanding service. Obviously, we need to. Carlin talked about protecting the business, and one of the real challenges here, and in the welcome letter that you'll all get, it says, thank you for signing up. We hope you never need the service. I mean, the truth is, like most insurance, I hope I never need my automobile insurance. I hope I never need my health insurance. I understand that eventually I will need my life insurance, but I hope it's not anytime soon. So TelaCare is like insurance in that regard. It's something that you buy and avail yourself to, hoping that you'll never need it. We do ask everybody. There is, I know, a curiosity about it, needless to say. And John asked me some time ago, have you tried it? And to which I said, no, I haven't been sick. My wife Teresa has been sick, and she tried it and loved it. So, our low price and our high commission rate. I mean, again, if you think about it, we're working on an $8 a month margin here as a gross margin. That's a gross margin. So,
amazing.
we just have to ask everybody, look, you can certainly go into the back office, you can click around, you can see the capacity of the system. But again, we hope you'll never need it. But if you do need it, of course, it will be there for you. But we ask you, please don't test it. Don't just out of curiosity, get on the phone with a doctor. I mean, these people are very busy. They do important work. They're highly paid, and it's wasteful to just as a matter of curiosity, tap into it. So we do ask that you exercise good judgment in that, and understand that it's a way for us to keep the cost down for all of us, for us to keep the commission as high as it is for all of us. So, we do ask for prudence in that regard.
I got one other stat that I just wanted to throw on that totally goes with what you just talked about. Right before this call, I was on the phone with a guy who knows someone who just started up his own telemedicine operation, which, is amazing to me that he thinks he's going to go get thousands of doctors and be able to compete with, the dollars of a John Scully. And he said that he found out the average hold time right now at Teladoc is 3 hours. And let me tell you something. I'm sorry, not the hold time, but the amount of time it takes from when you say I want a service appointment to the time you actually get it is three hours. And that, I think, is going to be where you start to lose customers is that average wait time. Now, their website says something opposite. You know, they say it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes. But MD Live's site says 10 minutes, you know, like you said, 9 minutes. So I think that's a sweet spot, because if you have to wait hours, you know, at that point you're saying maybe I should have gone to the clinic, and that's not what you want. So I think that's where you start losing customers.
Teresa's done it twice, and once was 5 minutes and once was 7 minutes. And there's no
Awesome.
way that they know, you know, we are who we are. I mean, to them, we're just a customer at that level. So those were the experiences that we had.
And a great illustration. Somebody asked me just the other day the same thing. Well, I would like to get on and try the service. I said, you know, one, you don't want to take the risk of losing your membership for doing something like that, especially if it's not a legitimate thing. And I said, you know, second of all, we don't want to do that, because as more people do that, it'll increase the price and it makes it crazy. So we have to be respectful. We know that 911 works, and we knew that 411 worked. Well, everybody wanted to test 411, but you know, when you got 911, you just kind of went, okay, I'm going to just trust it works until I need it. So
right.
You kind of have to give them that same illustration. And I really love the videos. I really want to encourage you, if you want to really get a great overview, if you haven't seen it yet or know about it, you know, we have nocostbusiness.info. And I believe that Don has a site called lowcostbiz.info. So they're a little different. And but I want you to take a minute and listen and watch Don's analogy of how to grow your business. It's great to hear him. You'll get that whole feeling. And just like he gave out his email, you know, again, think of it as the 411 versus the 911. When you really need him, he's there. You don't need to test, and we don't need to, so that he can make the best use of his time as well. And I think some of that goes without saying, but isn't that cool to know that you guys, I always tell, you know, you want to create a community where you say, hey, you know what? If I can get you in touch with the Ronald Reagan here of the entire outfit. That makes you feel pretty proud to know that was given out today. That was just amazing. So I think you've done great. Yeah, but I want to see if anybody has any other questions.
I do.
Great. And
can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Who are we talking to?
This is Relay White.
Okay, Relay, go ahead.
Last night I've been thinking about this ever since I was told about this, and I have some connections in the deaf community that this would probably be really good for, because if they can do this over the phone, then they can get a translator. You just translate through the phone, and it's really not a big deal to set up and get this in place. But I was watching the videos, a couple of the videos this morning, to see what the closed caption was like, and there is closed caption, but it is not translated correctly. I don't know if that's something that can be fixed on. I don't know how YouTube works. I've never uploaded a video on them, and so I don't really know if that's something that you need to go into more detail. Is there a way that the closed caption can be fixed so that when I tell the deaf people they can go and watch these videos and read the closed caption without any problems and words that shouldn't be there?
Let me just tell you that Clay brought this up to me, and I am totally unfamiliar with the closed captioning. I know where it is, and I know that it can be manipulated or improved, but I never took the time. It didn't even cross my mind. I was thinking Spanish language. I wasn't thinking like, you know, deaf people or whatever. And so I didn't even. I'm just being totally honest with you. I didn't even think about that. But there's no question we need to get those captions clear, and I will work on that, and I will spend the time, and I'll talk to you about that after this call, so we can get that squared away.
All right.
Thank you. Is there any other questions?
Yeah, great question.
Anyone else? Any other questions? And if you joined us late,
I would like to just make one quick point of clarity. Lowcostbiz.info simply points to John's site. John is the architect of the site, and like I said, I just was more comfortable with the term low cost as opposed to no cost. But he put the whole thing together, and it's just marvelous. And all it is
so
just
it redirects back to where we have
Yes,
it.
exactly. Yes.
What's the,
I'm gonna chalk up the $1.25 a month to taxes, and still say that it's no cost. Because hey, it's $1.25 a month. I mean, that's
That's low cost.
Yeah, it's actually low to no cost, and for those who go and get 9 people in the business, that's going to be even greater because it will be no cost then. But so it does need a little explanation, and we'll cover the matrix in just a minute on the comp plan. Don, what is the URL that it takes to go see the penny video?
I have that on the screen right now. It's tcbiz.info, so everybody can go to that training site that Don put up. It's TC as in TelaCare, tcbiz.info, and then when you get there, there's a little menu down the left, and it's the duplication video where he gets into that whole penny doubled, and it's a very simple explanation, but it's so powerful. And as soon as anybody I've shown that to over the last couple decades, as soon as they see that, it's like everything changes. The light comes on and everything makes sense.
It's not so much that we're looking for fast, it's that we're looking for quality and we're doing it right, and it's going to happen. Liars figure and figures never lie. That is something you're not going to get away from. That is just perfect to show. That is, it's in life. Everything you do in life, if you look at that full illustration, it's a great example. I wanted to.
I got another question before we change channels. If you don't mind, Carlin, I just wanted to ask Dawn. We've had a couple of people ask when MD Live is going to go live with TelaCare. I hate to put you on the spot, but if you have any info that you can share on that, it would be appreciated.
Well, anyone that is signed up will be live with it within 48 hours of the sign up. Well, I guess it depends on what day of the week. If you sign up on a Friday, it probably won't be till Monday or Tuesday. But in terms of the API electronic connection, I would say we're maybe about a week away from that. There's just there's a glitch in there. There's a loop in the code that we can't seem to identify, and they keep bouncing back on us. But we're very, very close. We're actively working on it, and it won't be long at all.
I just heard you say a week.
Yeah,
so
might take a week.
We might be talking about the end of next week then, huh?
That's
but he's promising. I promise. He's promising you silver and deliver gold. I like that. When a credit card is put into the system, is the card billed instantly or is the card billed later? Because it looks like it says 24 hours later, but it shows that your card was processed properly. So I just wanted to double check on that.
Where are you seeing the 24 hours, Carlin?
I think John had said that I think it says it was processed. The credit cards are processed 24 hours later, and I thought, well, I wasn't clear because doesn't it tell you instantly?
I think it's instantaneous. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's instant. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Caroline. It's definitely instant.
Okay, good.
I was saying the back office showing that someone has paid. I think that there's a little lag time on that.
Okay. Oh, that's. And when we were looking at the report where it says unpaid, not paid, not paid. Yeah, okay. That may be where we were talking. Might show up 24 hours later. Okay, and
if you go to the back office genealogy, and you see then your people and that are logged in or signed up underneath you, then it does say not paid right there currently, and so we'll just have to wait for that to catch up. I don't know if you have any insight on that, Don.
That will be 24 hours maximum.
Okay.
Great.
And hopefully you have news for me that I'll be able to see all that real soon. Right, John?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right. So then the other thing is if somebody hits the submit button twice, which people tend to do out of impatience, will it actually bill their card twice?
Will not.
Nice. Very nice. Okay. Any other questions right now?
Everybody's so quiet, and everybody's still on here.
So professional. That's great.
So I want to cover now real quick, helping you to build your business, and I'm letting Dawn know that if for any reason you do have to go on with your day, we understand. But we just wanted to cover part of this, and if you want to give me a critique afterwards, that's fine too. So you have the freedom to stay or go, Dawn. We're so thrilled, but we know you have things to do too. So anyway, I want to cover the matrix. I want you to understand a uni-level means that you get to sponsor as many wide as you want. A uni-level is absolutely stability for a company. It shows the stableness of what a company can do. I love when I hear a uni-level and then there's things that are happening. Like we get paid 7 levels in depth. So if you just think of a traditional business, it kind of goes down those 7 levels from the president on down, and that's great. That's a traditional actual business model. And to maximize this, if you will go to the low-cost or no-cost business.info and look at the video that has where the compensation plan is in there, we put the matrix, and this the next time we put it out there, we're going to definitely just focus on just about the compensation. And I want you to understand those are illustrations, not guarantees of income. We're not making any claims. We're just showing you in a perfect world. A 3-by matrix, helping go get 3 and help those 3 get 3, and they follow the pay it forward idea. The neat thing is your business, this doesn't cost you anything. All of a sudden, your service is covered by your income, and so that's beautiful. So that is the model we're going to try to really get people to focus on. Get 3, who get 3. Now, if you think of outside the box and you go just a little bit wider and you go 5, who get 5, the income is like that penny doubling. It's more than that. So it's really, really beneficial if you do this. Now, people who are recruiters tend to go out and they could recruit all day long. Now, here's the rule. Width is for show. Depth is for dough. Tapping into your group and helping build the depth and working with people and their people and the next people, working in your organization like that is beneficial. You don't have to go out and know 100 people. You have to know a good 5 or 10 people, and once you get started, then you start tapping into who do they know of their 5 or 10. And then you want to show them how to make this happen and help them to recoup their costs. I always like to say help everybody get if they're in business, put their business in the black so they have their money back. They're so excited they can't help but talk about it to somebody else. And they'll never, ever, ever quit or leave the service. So this is what our goal is to taproot in. And so John and I really want to make ourselves available to you to help you to do this. I was explaining to somebody the other day, go get 5. You got to stay 5. 3 to 5, you choose your number, and then we're going to help you go down another level and do the same thing. The beauty of the program, okay, is that you have to fill the holes. In other words, if you're a star recruiter, it's not going to hurt you to give somebody or gift your enrollment to somebody else to plug a hole. If you will build a solid structure of a matrix, and if you're taking notes, write that down with you as a circle at the top and put your 3 and then help those 3. You calculate exactly what that is. I want to challenge you to be able to make a triangle in your business around that illustration I just told you, 3 who get 3. And if you make that triangle, see how many of those triangles you can create in your entire business to create a solid structure. If you create a solid structure in your business, you are going to be so excited about the way the money works and how many people you actually bless. And don't worry about those who may get something for nothing, because a lot of people don't like to do that, so they do want to give back eventually. So sometimes we just have to show them. We don't mind if you get something, like Dawn said, for just bringing the referral. I don't care. I want to plug the holes, fill the holes. That's including in your matrix. We want to help make you solid. When you get down to about your 5th and 6th level, you are going to want to come back up and start again, because I don't want to put somebody like a Dawn or a Carlin or like you. I don't want to put you down that low, because be careful that you don't put your emotion into your business, because you'll love them right out of your business. So when you say, gosh, but I love my mom, I'm going to put her here, and she'll never enroll in it, but I put my sister there, and then, I put my brother-in-law under my sister, and then you just keep going straight down, you will love them right out of your business because every stud knows a dud, and every dud knows a stud. So somebody's going to put somebody down there all of a sudden on accident, and you're going to say, why didn't I have them high up? So if you're going to plug holes, it doesn't really matter. If you can plug your studs to the top, that's great. But it's going to happen. Everybody's going to know the right kind of person, and people are going to know the wrong people, and it's just going to happen. Just bless everybody. Just get in that attitude that, you know what, that's great. I would feel so good to bless other people. Making my matrix solid, it's like building a solid structure home. You want to lay down that great foundation. You want the beams to be strong. You want the walls to be able to withstand time. We don't want to build something like that traditional binary that they say only build one side, and then unfortunately only the people at the top are making money, and the sad thing is it implodes as fast as it grows down. It implodes from the bottom and explodes back up. So we don't want to build something like that. We want to build a lifetime structure. The beauty of the comp plan that Dawn has put together is that you can do as many 5 by 5 as many of those on your front line as you want to do. So I will tell you that John and I are looking to get 20 good people across the front line down the road. That's our goal. We've got our 20 we want core. Then we want to help those 20 go out and build their 5 by 5 by 5 by 5. We want to do that so those are solid structures. There's many companies that have criteria. You have to do this and you have to do that. The beauty is no games, no gimmicks. They are paying out 68%, whether it's to somebody working or to somebody who just happens to be a lucky person in the right hole. So let's see how many people we can help. Let's see how big and wide we can go. And let's create a company story. Because I think if we create a story as a group, we're going to be able to say, there's a group out there that's doing it like this. And they're going to start to catch on. And we can build a solid structure for the entire company that way. The rule is high and tight, but also, again, if you're a recruiter, I recruited over 350 people in one company in a very short time. If I put them all on my front line, that really doesn't help me, and it really, really doesn't help the people I brought in. So being able to bless other people with people, I hope this is really clear. And we will work with you on your plan to discover what is your why are you doing this, what do you need, and how quick can we help you to get there? So let's customize your business plan for you, because truly this call today was about you, and it's for you that we're going to be here and serve. And the more people we serve, the better we're going to get at what we do. John, you have anything you want to add to that?
No, I think that you did an awesome job, and I think that we are extremely fortunate to have you and Stefan, here with TelaCare, and I think that this is just the beginning. I mean, we're in the first 24 hours here, and going back to what Don said, that I guess I do have something to add. I just wanted to add that going back to what Don said about being able to say I was on the first conference call, there's power in being able to say I signed up in the first 24 hours that this service was available. And 2 years from now, that will mean a lot. So you still have time, the rest of the day to be able to share that, that idea with a lot of other people. I fully intend, from now at 1 o'clock my time to the end of the day. Well, my day ends when I go play basketball at 9 o'clock tonight. But we have those next 6 hours, 8 hours, whatever, 10 hours to try to help a few other people be able to say, hey, I signed up in the first 24 hours, because this went live last night. So, our first 24 hours doesn't end until the night. So it's a unique situation that you're going to be able to look back on for years and years. Sorry?
We were laughing at 3 o'clock in the morning last night saying, we were going to say, remember at 3 o'clock her time, 1 o'clock? We were laughing so hard about the craziness last night. And it is something that nobody can take away, those crazy memories. I want you to know that while John's playing basketball, that's the difference of having a core group like this when we're structured as a team, that you do. I don't play basketball, so I am home, and I'm willing to help you. We are going to drive this train. I want to encourage you. Here's our protocol, if you will, or the way we want to pipeline right now, is get them to the site. To wet their whistle, don't be the message, be the messenger, and then get them to the site and let the message do the work. John's already done the videos. Let the newscasters that you see there, let her do the work for you. So say, listen, I've got my hands on something that I think is pretty exciting, but I'd love your opinion on this. Can you just take a look at it and see if you think it has any validity? Everybody wants to give their opinion. Give them the site and ask them to watch at least the first 3 videos before anything. Then do that, an all-important, inclusive 3-way call, because believe it or not, even key leaders must do a 3-way call, because we have to show duplication. We have to show people, look how simple this is. Can you send people to a video? Can you send them or dial them into one of the team leaders? That's what you have. You have a support line that's willing to do that work to help get them right over there and then send them to your website with you and get them enrolled. So let's see how many people we can do that. And then we're going to put some power calls together and a stronger pipeline that's really going to have this almost doing it for you. So all it is get people on your list and then get them off your list, and then get them on your list and then get them off your list. And that's really your job, actually, is to be a lead finder. Find the leads. Get those people's name on that paper, then move them from paper to presentation, and presentation hopefully to either a customer or a working partnership. And then we move from there. We have to help them the same way we want to help you. We got to duplicate. So the rule kind of goes like this. Okay, you can watch what we do. Then you do it with us and do what we're doing. We'll show you what to do. The next thing is we're going to watch you do it. And after you do it, we're going to ask you, please, now that you know what you're doing, will you teach somebody else and show them the same way? So this is the duplication process of true leadership. And we want to have the largest team of leaders teaching leaders how to lead, even though we know we'll get a lot of followers. We want to help glean you to really, really shine. And I hope you'll let us do that. And so I'm going to encourage you to get with us, a 3-way call with me and John. Let's do simply, did I say that wrong, John? It was John and me. and
grammar police.
Let's do your personal business plan. Discover your why, what you want, and let us know how we can best help you, and then we're off to the races. So we've already begun, and hopefully we're laying that trail real fast, and we got a lot of people to follow. We can create a fast story just as easily as we could create a slow one. But a fast one is more fun and gives you a lot of stuff to talk about. And remember, I can only tell you the best thing to know is to know the people and to help them create stories, because we'll be sharing everybody's stories, and stories are what will sell. So with that, I have actually felt like I've done a pretty good conclusion to the meeting. John, if you have anything else to add, and if Don is still here, we want to thank him if he has anything left he wants to say.
Yeah, thanks so much, Don.
It's my great pleasure. Thank you all. Wonderful inaugural call.
And I want to tack on at the end that if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right, number one. And the faster you do it, the more fun it is, number 2. So it has certainly been my experience.
You're not having fun. You don't know Carlin.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Don.
My pleasure. Thank you, everyone.
Hope to do this again with you here real soon.
Anytime.
Yeah, bigger group next time. And when you go to No Cost Biz, our phone numbers are right there at the bottom. And John's got the West Coast covered, or East Coast, and I've got the West Coast. So we're there. You're going to be able to reach one of us early enough and late enough when you need us. So thank you so much for your time today. We really, really appreciate you making time in your day to come and be a part of this historic call. So this is Carlin in California signing off. If you'll open the lines, John, I'd love to hear everybody do a nice, strong sign-off, and that's how we start. So, Stefan, if you... Thank you. State your name and sign off.
I see.
Carlin, California. Goodbye.
See you guys. Have a great day.
Go on, John.